Hey man, what's going on? It's Cool Water again. Barroom chats. Is hip hop dead.com, the digitaldopeman.com, and creator and founder of Who Killed the Black Entrepreneur, the African American Entrepreneur's Holocaust lecture series that will be going on very shortly. As soon as I find me a location, we're gonna take it coast to coast though, because this angle that nobody is really probably tapped into. I think Claude Anderson probably would be the only person who probably has really tapped into it from his generation. But you know, he in his 70s now, so you know. But anyway, we gonna dive into Who Killed the Black Entrepreneur at some point and get that popping. Today's topic in the ballroom chat section of the podcast is about the movie War for Planet of the Apes. I went to go see that today and wanted to see exactly what was going on with them. Previously, before the movie came out, there was controversy already that had been administered between D-Ray, a supporter and activist of the Black Lives Movement, and Whoopi Goldberg, in which case Whoopi Goldberg pointed out some issues with the blue bubble vest that D-Ray wears, and how on the cover or the poster flyer, promotional flyer for War of the Planet of the Apes, you see a monkey in a blue bubble vest. So they had some controversy in regards to that. Whoopi had a few points that she wanted to get across to D-Ray. And, you know, I don't think D-Ray may have had all of his information in hand, because he probably couldn't stand his ground and really stay on one point to defend himself. So, for me, before I heard about the previous Planet of the Apes from the 60s, and how the monkey or some monkeys may have had a blue particular garb, vest, jacket, or what have you, I looked at the picture and seen it and thought to myself, it was totally out of character. Like, it didn't align with the overall visual of the poster. So me being artistic, I'm looking for what makes sense. And if I do a piece of art or flip a flyer or put something together that particularly I want people to embrace, it has to make sense. You know, it's like putting taking a penis and putting it in a picture with sundae ice cream in a malt shake. You know, it just don't mix. And that's how I kind of felt that particular picture that they put of the monkey in the bubble blue vest, it just didn't make sense. So I got the insight on what happened in the 60s. Then my next question was, okay, well, if that was the case back then, they were in a position of power because mankind, aka white people, were the ones enslaved in those particular series, which put them in a social status that was above their now previous enslavers. In which case, that's not going on today. The apes are the ones that's being hunted and enslaved and captured in these last few series that they have spawned out over the last several years. So it still don't make sense, because that's a position of royalty when you wearing certain garbs, when you are the enforcer, when you are the lawmaker, the lawgiver. Then it only makes sense that you wear something that signifies and dignifies you from the people that you're in charge of or overseeing. And in this case, it didn't make sense. You see, it had no justification for them putting that on the poster. Then on the poster, you see the apes going against the military. And the military has certain writing on their helmets, dead monkey, kill monkey, ain't nothing gooder than a dead monkey or what have you. Now, I didn't catch all the glimpses of the words, but I seen some, and that's kind of what I remember. Well, those particular terms are allegory or metaphorical for, in my personal opinion, ain't nothing like a dead nigga, kill a nigga, a nigga better off dead than alive. Any of those particular terms and particular monarchs or monarchies or however you want to label it, man, some type of signification about black people, they use the monkey as the metaphor. Now, everybody knows that the apes were supposed to be symbolic for black people. This is what we have known for years. This is what some of the originators, who actually producers and directors who created it, who came out of the 60s and so forth, they spawned a lot of their thought process off the civil rights movement, off of riots, off of things that were going on with black people in America, and took that and used the allegory to a degree to be able to compare the two, but they put a spin on some of it. So we all know that the monkey represents the black man and black woman in America. That's what we've known. That's what we came in contact with. They even so much as went in some of the earlier series back in the 60s and so forth, 60s and 70s, to show you that the monkeys were in charge. They had mankind enslaved. What does that mean, though? If mankind was enslaved and the monkey was in charge, then what does that mean? Well, that could possibly mean that there was a period and point in time in world history that black folks, or AKA Africans, were in charge, and that there were other cultures that we enslaved. Let's just keep it 100. Let's just keep it real, clean, and clear and crisp. Because when you study world history and you see that the Irish was enslaved, Portuguese, Italians, Slavs, aka is where they got the word slaves from, Greeks, Romans, Russians, Germans, whatever, all these individuals had a period in their history where they were the enslaved population or ethnic culture, if you will. So if those earlier series showed that, and then the monkey or the apes or those apes fell from power, and then mankind took over and rose, then we have to put all that into perspective and say, well, this movie could allegorically or metaphorically be today about black people versus the military. Let's just keep it real 100. Black folks have went and had issues with the military within the last 2-3 years with the Black Lives Movement and every other little issue. Individuals have been shot down like Trayvon Martin, and a host of other guys have been killed by police force and things of that nature. So you have to put it in perspective and look beyond the entertainment so you can understand what they really showing you. Because these new directors, these white directors, most of them white, are giving up the game, and they're doing it subliminally because, number one, they ain't afraid to push the envelope. Number two, they want the history to be told for the way it really is. They know their forefathers and their ancestors been hiding and lying to them. So that's kind of where that's their kind of way of rebelling. And they're rebelling against the fact that they going against the family tradition of keeping the secrets. They don't want the secrets to be kept no more. You dig? And that's what you need to understand when you look at a movie like War of the Planet of the Apes. Now, let's take a look at Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg, who, is cool and whatnot, but she's on a program like The View with, one black girl that, come in and come out every so often, and white women that's on there, and they got one-sided views, which are really aligned with white society. Let's just be honest. Whoopi's point of view and opinion really don't carry no weight, even though they hear what she say. But the majority of the panel was Caucasian, with the anticipation of making sure that their view is the respected view on the show. Whoopi, in my opinion, when she lashed out at D-Ray and told him to get over himself because he was making reference and caricature to the bubble blue vest in relation to the bubble blue vest that he wears at some of these protests and activist meetings, was her really, in my personal opinion, co-signing and giving white folks a thumb up. You giving white supremacy or whatever you want to call it a thumbs up, because that's your analogy from what you remember from way back. But again, history repeats itself, and my question to you, Whoopi, would be, why put the blue vest on there in the first place when these folks, these particular apes, were not in a position of power? See, what y'all showed and what has been coming across, from the View and the internet, is the old television series where the apes was whooping on these white folk ass. They was the one putting them in check, putting them in the cage. It don't make sense. It's out of line. It's out of character. It just don't have no significance, in my personal opinion. It don't even make the poster look good. You see? So with D-Ray, he probably backed out, man. I don't see that brother being a strong-natured brother. And I think he just fell off the bandwagon with that, And then you have to ask also, too, like, and I ain't really got this particular far with it, but what was the purpose of the little white girl in the clan of apes? They taking care of her. Yup, we know, they killed her father or whomever, who was AKA and revolutionary against the particular military, because his daughter had caught the so-called disease or what have you. But what was her purpose for being connected to them, and what role was she really playing significantly and metaphorically? She definitely helped and aid in their escape, because she been an abolitionist to a degree, helping the apes get to where they needed to go, because she been somebody that was there to ensure the safety of the apes by trying to help lead them down the correct path. That's a question that I think you all probably can leave on the YouTube page and the podcast page, because I hadn't put that much thought into that. But that's just something to think about. But again, the apes metaphorically represent black people. And we have to keep it 100. We just got to keep it for what it is. They represent black folks. You got, for example, a lot of the apes had donkey on their back, chest, wherever they put it at. It's like, okay, well, we know that a donkey is an ass. That's what the donkey is signified for. This is an ass, and the ass is not too bright, not too smart. This is what we do. We use the ass for whatever purpose, which is carrying, hauling, and whatever other transgressions we come across. So that in itself was typically another metaphor, because if you remember slavery, that black folks got branded. They got branded with their master's name. They might have had runaway slave across their face or something, or sometime they'll put they might even use the word nigga and put some type of signification with that. So, we can always say that, the answers was symbolic of the word nigga. It was symbolic of the word slave. It was symbolic of the word dummy, the whole nine. Whatever the purpose of those apes that had donkey on them was for, it distinguished them from the apes that did not have that branding on them. In which case, just like today, in Black America, you had some apes who was helping and aiding and abetting the military, just like you got some niggas who's helping and abating white folk to continue to stay in power so that they be in a position to keep the crumbs that they have at the table and keep the money flowing and whatever else they got going on, because they don't want their livelihood threatened. Same thing. And in the movie, it was definitely significant because it was a whole lot of apes that was selling out Caesar because they was hoping that they was going to get a seat at the table and not get whacked if they sold Caesar out. No different than today than the niggas that be running around here that's in the NAACP, Urban League, SCLC, any of these organizations. You got sellout ass niggas who undercover continue to aid and abet and to help white America stay in power so that they can keep their position at the table. Pastors and preachers too. And this is real talk. So when you're going into a movie like this, you got to go in with your third eye open so you can understand and see the allegory, the metaphorical symbolism that they dropping on your face, because they telling you to your face, this is what's going on, and this could possibly can continue to go on, and it could get worse in this particular manner. We're using these apes just like we would, we using these apes as a metaphor for black folk. The military is what it is. Police force and the military. In the movie, they had concentration camps. Caesar got caught. A lot of apes got caught. They put them in the caves. They put them in the cages, and then they put them to work, just like a slave, and worked them so much so that Caesar had to beg for Woody Allen, who played the particular lead general, captain, to feed them folk because the apes was dying of starvation and thirst. He had to beg in order for these folks to be able to get what they needed. So they put them in concentration camps. No different than what could go on now if we have a catastrophe or something they call martial law, and it's a real serious situation, and they round everybody up and they put folks in these cages or put them in concentration camps, and then they inflict Nazi Germany criminal warfare crimes, criminal warfare tactics on you, and start making you do forced labor. And you find yourself in a cage with barbed wire, you working and barely getting any food, shelter, or clothing, or what have you. Same thing, man. It's no different. It's no different. What I noticed, what really caught my attention, because I'm coming up on 18 minutes, I'm going to wrap up shortly, is Woody Allen, just like when I did the podcast and I talked about aliens. This is an ongoing trend now. You hear the main characters say, like in the movie Aliens, it was the two brothers, Walter and David, I believe. And Walter was the good alien brother and David was the bad. He said that these folks need to be destroyed. We're dying off. We have to remain in a particular position because they went looking for colonization, the places to set up shop so they can reproduce, recreate, and create a new society. That was the purpose of the movie in the movie Alien, for the colonization mission. But Walter wanted to make sure that the white folks did not get the opportunity to survive, because he knew that if they survived, that the species of aliens would die. Now, realistically, they saying, oh, if you all set up and get to continue to keep yourself pure and clean and create the alternative society, that could be bad for the rest of us who are not part of the alternative society. because we're dying off. So David mentioned something about us dying, about them dying off. And in this movie, Woody Allen said, we created you species. We created your species, but we're dying. We're dying off. We can't maintain. Mother Nature is killing us. We won't be here much longer, and that's going to be a problem for you as well. So here he is alluding to the fact, again, that white folk, and then just to keep it 100 and plain, it's dying off. And you see it every day on TV. Melanoma is a primary disease that's killing them because they dying from skin cancer and the sun is beating them down and all that stuff. Same thing in the movie, man. These folks is telling you what's really going on. They telling you. They not hiding it. That's why a lot of folks like PayPal founder Musk is his last trying to get to outer space, planets like the moon. Virgin Mogul founder is trying to get to, got them spaceship, right? Because they looking for new places to colonize, because here on Earth, they're dying out. They're dying out. The sun is killing these folks. And it's real talk. And this is the second movie where they confirm subliminally that they're dying off and saying, okay, black man, we see you able to survive in this atmosphere. We're not surviving. We need to find a new place to survive. Real talk. That's how I took that. And they also had some of the apes was being hung on like a cross type of wooded situation, lynching, so to speak, getting whooped on the cross, getting hung, whatever you want to call it. So all of this stuff resembled what's been going on, what has went on with black folks over the centuries, over the years. And subliminally, it is what it is. They just showing you to your face, using metaphors, using allegories, that this is what's going on with you, black man. This is what's going on with you, black woman. This is where we are. This is what we see forthcoming. And if you wise, you're going to learn how to make a move and do this and protect yourself. And at the end, Caesar ended up dying off, but he did save his tribe. He did save his clan. You see what I'm saying? But, there was no successor, so to speak. There was no way to carry the race forward and make sure that they could be protected. Because even though they went and found new habitat, ain't nothing for them getting wiped out again. Which ain't nothing stopping us from getting wiped out again. If we move from one, as they say, go back to Africa, which, that's a bunch of BS. That's a bunch of bullshit. If we go back, ain't nothing stopping us from getting wiped out over there. Ain't nothing stopping us from getting wiped out in the Caribbean. No matter where you go, we don't have a safety net or a safe haven for us to be able to keep us alive, keep us well and strong. So that's my take. That's my review. It may be a little strong for some folks, that's okay. Truth is better than fiction. And, y'all got to stop playing so much, man. Y'all got to stop, I'm one of the silliest cats you're going to ever meet. I got humor for days, but, I just look, I watch, I observe, I notice there's not a real serious bone in most African-American bodies when it comes to dealing with real issues, unless you cutting bread from that cloth, which not a lot of people are. That's why they're giving Umar Johnson so much hell, because he was born for the job. So look, I'm out, man. Go check out the movie. The movie was really good. I think it was, it displayed a great deal of love was in the movie. Caesar went through some issues with his family. It showed strength. It showed Caesar's growth. And he just like black folks, his ability to not want to do his enemy wrong, even though he know he had to protect himself, because he could have killed, some folks, but he walked away and went the other way. I'm Cool Water, man. I'm out. Check me out at ishiphopdead.com. I got the new site up now. It's popping, it's bubbling. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely where you want to be at to get your latest content. Um, we working on digitaldopeman.com. That's gonna be hot. That's gonna be dope. That's gonna be what where you wanna, really connect with me, man. Get the Cool Water information, products and services. And we are, like I said before, we putting together the Who Killed the Black Entrepreneur, the African American Entrepreneurs Holocaust lecture series. So it's popping, man. And 2017 is still moving along. So don't count me out. Just count me in. Peace and stay blessed. Holla.